Hello, ladies and gentlemen, my faithful Patreons. I'm so glad to be speaking to you once again. And yes, it'll only be a matter of maybe 1 or 2 weeks until you get the next, or well, the first animation from the Revenge of the Sith video that we're making. Script is almost done, but that's why I want to talk to you guys, because there's one scene that I want you guys to vote on and tell me what you want to happen. It's a pretty important scene, and there's 2 versions in my head that I've got. So here's the setup, right? Palpatine is going into the ruins of the old Jedi temple, because down at the deeper level, sort of in the basement under the temple, is a vault where the Jedis used to keep a whole lot of like Sith artifacts that they would capture, and they'd lock them up there. And the Sith artifacts that he's after is the bones of Plagueis, his old master, and that will give him, when he gets to them, it will give him the gift of foresight, where he's able to foresee the future really far ahead. Because, you know, in the original trilogy, the Emperor's always saying, you know, I've foreseen this, about the different things that he's foreseen will happen. Although he didn't foresee himself getting thrown down a mineshaft, that's a pretty big plot hole. But anyway, this vault is at the center of kind of like a maze thing, and the maze is guarded by all the ghosts of the dead Jedis. So it's a scene where the Emperor kind of has to work his way through this maze, doing battle with all these Force ghosts of all the Jedis that died in the Black Sunset and died because of his actions previously. So he's having to like do battle with all of them, and he has to face like various trials as he works his way towards the center to get the bones of Plagueis, because the gift of foresight, that's the only ability that you can't earn. It needs to be passed on from master to apprentice, so that's why he has to go there. And I've got the idea is it's supposed to be like the opposite of what happened when Luke went into the tree in Dagobah, because remember, that was a Jedi going into a place strong in the dark side, and he came across a dark side version of himself in the Vader suit. And that of course was supposed to be foreshadowing that Vader is his father, but it was also supposed to be that there's a dark side version of Luke himself. There's darkness inside Luke. We started to see that in Return of the Jedi. So I thought I wanted to do the opposite here. Instead of a Jedi going into the place strong of the dark side and seeing a dark version of themselves, I thought I want a Sith going into a place strong in the light side, which is the old temple, and coming across a light side version of himself. So I've got a couple of different trials. The final trial before he gets to the bones of Plagueis though, Here's the thing though, I was like, this is what I want you guys to tell me which you think sounds better. It was either going to be, he comes, like sort of manifests in front of him is like a light side version of him, who he would have been if he had gone, you know, tried to become a Jedi instead of tried to become a Sith. And while on one level that sounds interesting, and that was always what I planned to do, I've thought more about it and I'm like, I don't know if that works for Palpatine, because the idea of Palpatine and the Emperor, he's supposed to be pure evil. So to show that there's kind of like a good side to him, I think that kind of undermines his character in a way. I mean, it would be cool to see, but it would undermine his character. And in terms of like writing, like what would he say to him? I don't know. I mean, how would Palpatine even react? He'd just be like, you're not part of me. I don't know. So what I did is the alternative, I thought maybe I'll go for something else. So what I did was I went and I researched like a lot of other like dictators throughout history, like Hitler, Stalin, Mussolini, Gaddafi, all these different ones, to see like what their personalities are like, to get an idea of if it's not going to be a light side version of him or if it's going to be something else, what should it be? And the one thing I found is the different dictators, they're diverse in pretty much every way. You know, like someone like Hitler is like, he's totally insecure on the inside, and that's why he has his bravado on the outside. He's vegetarian, never drinks alcohol, he's sexually repressed. Others like Mussolini, he's outgoing, he's flamboyant, he's, you know, has affairs with all these women, he's a drinker, all this stuff, you know. Hitler had an abusive father. Mussolini's dad had a really good relationship with him. So there's not that much in common between all the different dictators, but there's one thing that all the dictators have in common, and that's they're all mama's boys. They're all major league mama's boys. Like some of them have abusive fathers, some of them don't, but they are all mama's boys. So I thought, what about if Palpatine shows up and like sort of like a glowing figure of like a middle-aged woman who we don't say who it is kind of appears, and Palpatine actually shows some emotion, and he's like, oh my god, he's like, how can you be here? How is this possible? And we don't say that it's his mother or anything, I'll reveal that later on, but maybe the mother could just say something like, because I thought interesting thing with Hitler, for example, was Hitler had 3 brothers before him, but they all died of sickness as babies, but Hitler survived. And normally little kids can't even comprehend the idea of death, but he had to comprehend it at a young age because all his brothers died. But with that, he always kind of had this thing of like, well, why did I survive when they didn't? Maybe I'm surviving for something. Maybe I'm meant for something. And he kind of twisted that into the worst thing he could possibly be. But I thought maybe I'll write a similar backstory for Palpatine. Maybe his mother will appear. We don't say it's his mother, but she'll say that. She'll say, you survived for a reason. I didn't think it would be this reason though. Maybe something like that. And that could really cut to his heart. Because if I'm sort of modeling Palpatine off Hitler after the death of his mother, like the family doctor said the best part of Hitler died when his mother died, and he kind of deified his mother, built like a shrine out of her, out of a tomb kind of thing. And so maybe I could say that, and maybe later on he could tell Anakin something like, I had 3 brothers, but they all died through whatever means, but I survived for a reason, So maybe, I don't know, that's the idea. I'm still juggling it in my head. I haven't actually written that scene. I've skipped over it because I know I want to come back. So tell me, what do you think? Do you think it's better that I could make it that he sees his mother and that's like the only part of him that was good, and that is like one of his trials of trying to appeal to his good nature, if he has any good nature? Or do you think it's more interesting that there's a light side version of him that he has to face? I don't know. Let me know in the comments below. I'm leaning more towards the mother thing at the moment because I don't want to compromise his pure evil side, even though him loving his mum kind of does compromise that a bit. Anyway, it also doesn't fit with what was written about him in the Darth Plagueis book, but who cares, right? So put your comments below, guys. I look forward to reading them and seeing what you guys think about this, and I will catch you guys with some of the animations from the upcoming Revenge of the Sith very soon.